I think that the hype around women's sports in general right now has been an outroar that we've been waiting for, right? And so because of that, I'm able to like tap in with different brands, tap in with the different stores and the PR companies, and really push to amplify their brands within each and every single talent that I could bring to them. Our job as stylists is to make sure that we really curate each and every single talent as a different individuality. How are you?
I'm great. How have you been? Like, literally, you've been on world tour, and I'm impressed by your energy and the fact that you can have sustained energy over time. You've been working for so long. Where did it start?
Too long. If I could start with where the beginning of styling would be.
Yeah.
I worked in retail, just like every other girl in fashion. And I started when I was about 15, 16. So I was at Express, for the girls that want to know.
Come on.
And yeah, it was great. I started with visual merchandising, and so we would do floor sets during the night, recreate mannequins, floor laydowns, and do everything. And then I started styling. So then I came to LA, and that was like the first time I got to work on a fashion show. And it was for Macy's Passport. It was great. And I think ever since then, like my grandmother's a designer, which a lot of people know.
Yeah.
And I went back and forth between whether or not I wanted to design full-time for the rest of my life or if I wanted to do something different. When I was a kid, I was like a child model, and I always wanted to know who the person was that was putting clothes on me.
Wow.
And I was so interested in it. Like, I always wanted to stay at the rack, figure out what I was wearing next and what her job was and who that person was.
So it's in your blood.
It was.
I love that. Do you think that you have to pick, though? Because I'm looking at your face, I'm like, she could get in front of the camera immediately. Do you have to fit into a box when it comes to styling?
I think the reality of the world now is no, right? I think that that's where that understanding of what a creative director is, which is my title that I currently hold. And I do everything from designing to styling to image curation to production of pieces for anyone that wants it, brands, companies, etc. So it's been fun to kind of have that ray of understanding literally every market within the fashion world and then being able to kind of use it to identify who I am now.
What's the compartmentalization between the different titles?
So as a designer, obviously, I have to do start to finish work, from textiles to fabrications to patterns to then mass manufacturing a piece, and then obviously getting it on the client, right? And figuring out what the brand really wants for that. And then obviously for styling purposes of it all, I've had the opportunity to design pieces and then bring it into the styling world, which I love. And then the marketing aspect of all of that through and through. I guess you could say that that kind of brings it all together.
I'm not going to give a time lapse of exactly how old you are, but you've been doing this since you were 15, and you've been able to witness the different generations or iterations of how fashion and styling has evolved. How do they work in tandem, and how do they work against each other? Because there's a difference. There's a difference between fashion and style, and that is a hill I'm gonna die on because I have a modeling background. But how do you make them work in tandem?
I think, you know, it's funny that you asked that question because I do feel like storytelling starts, right? And that identifies who the talent is behind the fashion and the styling. It also works in tandem with brands and identifying who that actual talent is behind that and then the story that they want to tell. I think going back and forth within one another is difficult because they go together in a way that truly defines the elements of who the person is. So like you may not necessarily understand what fashion is, right? And I think we deal with that with athletes in general.
Yeah.
Some of them care about what they're wearing. Some of them care about the brands that they're wearing. We see that especially in the menswear field of it all.
You know how people write their biography?
Yes.
And you're holding the pen. And so I'm looking at Paige or Sabrina or Nika or Russell, like you're holding the pen for them. How do you get them to buy into you helping direct that story? It starts from like where they started from, right? So Russell, prime example of who he was, he created a brand for the inner city. And Honor the Gift very much described who he is as a person, from as a child to what he loved in fashion to how he plays basketball and then to who he wants his legacy to carry on as. And so identifying with that and then being able to be like, I want to turn this into a brand that other kids can understand is where he kind of thrives in that market
market, right? So with every single person that I end up being with as a client, it's kind of that same thing where you have to understand who they are from their roots and the development of who they want to become, which is another reason why I love working with the younger kids, because I feel like, listen, the rookies,
Younger kids, she
they
auntie now?
I know I'm an auntie, I hold that title very well. But I think that for the younger generation, it's they get to play in who they want to identify themselves with.
What are we wearing today?
David Yurman jewelry. This is a kid super suit. I'm one of the first athletes that they're working with. And Jimmy Choo on the shoes.
Okay, kid super. That's huge. That's iconic. I love that for you.
Thank you.
You have such vastly different clientele. What allows you to be so flexible?
Ooh, the flexibility has changed. To be honest with you,
first.
to be honest with you, I think the thing that allows me to be flexible is to maintain every single different identity. Like, they all identify themselves differently. And it's nice to be able to like meet every single person and understand what they want to do and what they want to deliver, and then be able to showcase it through different identities. Like when we talk about Kelsey, we talk about Cam, we talk about Paige, we talk about Nika. They're all such different people. And then I get to be able to help them kind of shine through.
For me, it's been really fun working with her and with Nike to be able to kind of pull off these amazing looks, in my opinion, that kind of tell, obviously, like a little bit of who I am and what I like to wear, but also like pushing the boundary a little bit.
We actually worked together first on a StockX shoot. That's how our relationship kind of grew. And then I kept asking for her on every single song session I had. So
Let's talk about Paige because she's the world's favorite.
Got the whole world buzzing. Got the whole world buzzing. I got the whole world buzzing. Got the whole world buzzing.
Something that's forever ingrained in my brain is the 2024 draft pick. Not even her draft, but she really stepped out. How did that fit come about? I'm talking about like all cream white everything living.
She made motion. She made motion in that fit for sure.
She is clear. She is motion.
On and off the court.
Yeah.
What we did was we knew that she was going to go in support of Nika that year in 2024. And she told me, she was like, I want something that isn't going to be too showy. Like, I don't want something that's going to, you know, steal the show. And I said, what you want to wear? And she was like, I want to wear LV. And so I said, okay. Called up a couple people of mine. And we got her in this all white suit. And when I saw it, to be honest with you, I was like, Paige isn't gonna wear something like this. But I felt it. And I was like, we just need to do it. Let me send it to her. Let me see what she says. And she literally trusted me. She was like, all right, send it to me. Swipe my card. Let's do it.
Just swipe away.
Yeah. And so I sent it to her, and I'll never forget. She tried it on the court at UConn. It arrived to her. I could have screamed. She took it out the bag, she put it on, and she was on the court. It wasn't buttoned, it wasn't tailored, it wasn't anything.
But you just knew it.
And I knew it was for her.
I would never be the one to ask you who's your favorite, but whose process have you been most impressed with in their growth through the styling journey?
Ooh, that's a good one. Growth-wise, I would say Paige.
Really?
I would say Paige.
Yeah.
And we've done everything from report carding her looks from, you know, God, she's such a baby. I was going to say 2019.
Oh my God, she was like 12.
Sorry. She was 12. Yeah, she was 12. But I think that, again, curating her identity and who she was going to become and the light that she was stepping into was something I don't even know if she was ready for. Like, we all know Paige to have that riz, that swag. She walks around, she owns it. She truly does. She oozes it. And I think everyone wants to be her. But I think that I've also been able to teach her that we want every girl to be able to feel like they could be you. Not just a particular market of girls, but at what point do we reach every girl's identity to truly believe that they could also be you? And I feel like that's where she owns her star power in that sense, is she just knows it. Like, when she went to the 2025 draft, you know, this is a different look for her.
Yeah,
like,
but it was so good.
It was so good. And we wanted to embody this rock star that she truly was, that she knew she was gonna own, from her hair to her makeup to the jewelry that she wanted to drip in. Like, every single piece of her mattered.
Well, somebody like Cam, though.
Yeah.
To me, fashion-wise, style-wise, she seems fairly developed, but you still help her along her journey. How did that connection come about? What did she want from you when y'all first made that initial connection?
Yeah, so Cam and I met through Callie Rivers, her agent, which we love. To be honest with you, yeah, she's still in that growth period of understanding that she wants to elevate, but at the same time be like, I want to become the supermodel that I know
The
that
next
I can
iteration
be.
of Kim is gonna be scary,
And
child.
is
She's so
scary.
great.
Those covers that she's doing, it's scary. But she owns it, and she knows that she's not necessarily just a hanger, but she wants to be the representation of what that girl can be and stepping into her power. I think it's my job to kind of push those boundaries with those girls because they know what they're capable of, but they don't necessarily see what we see. So
What do you see with women's sports or women athletes in general owning their style?
I think I see an embodiment of power in truality. Like, I think that, like, it's different to be able to own who you are and how you walk on the court that day. To be able to really walk in your power and be like, this is who I'm gonna define myself as, is just different.
Big trendsetter, you should take a flick. 187, I'm a fashion killer. Top 5, Mike Jackson thriller.
Listen, we have the feminine girls, we have the masculine girls, we have the ones that truly may not know style, may be criticized on what their style is, but they own it. And they really do, and I love every single bit of it.
And just the longevity that you've had in it, you've accomplished so much. You've been on TV, you've been in retail, you've been on runways with the tunnels and everything. What's next? I never liked the future lending things, but I just need to know. I need to know where can we follow you into?
I feel like what's next for me is definitely helping the next generation of women, and especially the women in sports, to understand where they truly are. And I think that's my true goal.
And lastly, I always say the WNBA is so important, but I need to know, in your opinion, why is style so important to the WNBA?
Right now, let me think about this one. It's a good one. I think style is important to the WNBA because I think that it, again, exudes who women truly are. I think this is a moment that we've all been waiting for. And I think that that catwalk that they walk through the tunnel is truly a catwalk. And people may criticize about it, and they might say what they need to say, but I think it's time for them to truly own what they're worth.